I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. And now we welcome Powder to the podcast. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, my name is Powder. I am a Kitsune Seraphim VTuber. I have been doing content creation for, like 6 or 7 years now. Don't make the joke. It's been quite a while.
I will not make the joke. but still, that's a long time.
Yes, it is.
So what brought you around to the VTubing aspect of it?
Well, for a while, I was just a Minecraft content creator, and everything I put on the internet was just my Minecraft skin. So I was unintentionally a VTuber for quite a long time. And after a little while, I decided I don't just want a PNG. And then I looked into more options, and I was like, oh, I can have a 2D moving image? Well, color me intrigued. And one thing led to another, and here I am.
The accidental VTuber.
Oh, yes.
You were setting trends before the trends even knew they were trends.
Honey, I was there when the ancient texts were written.
I was there when we hit two rocks together and called it music.
What?
It was a bleak time back in the early Stone Age. I tell you, and I tell people, and this is an honest truth. My first gaming system was a Sears Pong console.
We all come from somewhere.
And by golly, I wish I still had it. It was fun. I don't even know if a lot of folks who are gaming today, a lot of these super content creators, could even play Pong.
Probably not.
I
probably couldn't.
I mean, there's no shooting or powering up, or just move the paddle. Bink, bink, bink. I want to do a charity Pong tournament sometime to see if anybody can actually play the game. Slow down.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
I really think it would be fun to watch. But so what draws you to content creation as a whole? I mean, you've been doing it for a while. Were you always somebody who got up on stage and grabbed the mic?
Well, for a while, I did a lot of public performances. I used to be with an agency for acting, and I missed being in front of an audience, partially.
Yeah.
But I also did singing competitions a lot when I was younger, so I missed that part as well. So I figured I could try and take both the things I like, acting and performing, and turn them into something more for myself.
Well,
I am a very disabled creator, actually. So I use my VTubing to express and do the things that I can't do in my life anymore, which is quite a few, actually. So it's a nice outlet for me.
Yeah, it is. It does give you that chance to still use that talent and that wonderful voice of yours, by the way.
Yeah.
You can absolutely tell that you have been in front of people before, and the tone and quality of it is wonderful. Have you been doing any voice acting?
Yes, I in fact run an entire show I am directing currently.
Oh, cool.
And so I am currently director, writer, video editor, and a voice actor in that currently. So wearing a lot of different hats right there.
You realize I am extremely jealous of you right now.
Oh, shush. You've got a lovely thing going on here with all your interviews.
Oh, I enjoy it. But, this old radio guys, our voice acting basically comes down to trying to sell you on the chicken special at the local grocery store. I've got 30 seconds to tell you what a great deal it was. That was our script, but to see folks be able to actually act is a different thing. You can't just take somebody with a decent voice and put them in and have them act. because it's acting, for crying out loud.
Yes, my cast is very much the side of someone with a nice voice who doesn't know how to act. So I think having someone who used to be an actor be directing all of this definitely helps them.
Yeah, yeah.
But I definitely hit my head against a wall every now and then.
So, I gotta ask because this is funny to me. When you when you get somebody who does some lines, and this happened in radio too with commercials, which would drive people crazy, and they read the intent of the line completely wrong. How do you take that?
Either I have two approaches. The first approach, which is the nicer approach, is I step in for them where they would do that line and I give them the line how I would do it to just kind of show them how to do the different tonal inflections with their voice, where to put the emphasis in the sentence, and also how to recover from a mistake if they do it.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of people who don't have English as the first language. English isn't even my first language. So I am very good about like knowing how to help people approach that.
Yeah.
My other option, and the option I take with people I know longer, is I just lean really close into my mic and I give them a very realistic scenario of do this line like I am outside your door, and if you do it wrong, I'm going to take you away. And that usually works.
Is there lots of screaming inside your head?
I decline to comment. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've done it myself. I mean, with news stories and things that I longer scripts, but when you hear somebody just hit a big clunker right in the middle of a and hit maybe emphasize the wrong word or just slightly mispronounce something, it stands out. And that's something I remember. There was one fellow at the radio station I worked for who real good voice and just a nice guy, but he always used to call the singer songwriter Bob Dylan instead of Bob Dylan. And
oh my.
Yeah, and when it came up, everybody at the station would just stop and look at each other and try not to laugh really loud. It was on the air. Bob Dylan. And we had another
character.
We had another fella who was an older gentleman who was kind of my mentor, but he didn't really know modern music at the time. And Sade, a song from Sade came on, and he goes, "That was Sade." No, Pete, it wasn't Sade.
Oh my.
Yes. But when you're doing a dramatic situation, do you mostly do dramatic things or comedy things or what? Or
mostly dramatic. I'd say it's relatively horror, the show.
Yeah.
So especially during our first episode, as that was our most tame episode, at least for a while.
Yeah.
We were very I was very lax with the actors. I wanted them to really feel how it is to voice act the character that they have created for themselves, as I usually let people create their own characters and I figure out a way to write them into the story myself.
Yeah.
But these actors have also been sitting with this character and these stories for, oh gosh, little over 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all pretty familiar with what they need to do. And luckily the new members I've had come in recently, as we always are welcoming to new members, since I find it a nice challenge to be able to write on the fly.
Yeah.
Luckily all the new members we've had recently have been very, very good at just slipping straight into what we're doing.
Cool.
So I haven't really had to start from the beginning with any people recently, which definitely makes my job a lot easier.
Yes. Haven't had to do any quick rewriting of a character's backstory to explain why something isn't the way it was supposed to be.
Honestly, no. The most we have to do on the fly is rewrite lines for a
Mm,
couple members because my other team of scriptwriters, they love doing big fanciful lines, but we don't always have the people who are able to enunciate words, especially because, well, they're not an they're not native English speakers.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's honestly the most we have to do, but we also let people make their own individual content revolving around the story so that they can
Oh,
portray their character backstory as they want it to be, rather than through my creative lens,
well,
since my creative lens doesn't always align with what people are planning on doing.
you know what? That's pretty brilliant. It really is. That almost automatically, I would think, allows them to be more comfortable with the character. I'm sure that's what you were thinking of, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because a lot of people in my cast put themselves a lot into the characters, myself especially.
Uh-huh.
We all kind of take our experiences and kind of almost fanify them and put them into this whole fantasy world of chaos.
So, what is it like being actually creative? Because
Hiring.
I oh I
I do all this also while in school.
yeah.
So I've been I'd go from like my college courses back to my computer to back to class to out here. So I'm quite busy a lot of the days.
Oh yeah. It's something else. That's a to be able to not just you know have the wonderful voice and the acting ability, but to be able to create for it as well. Um, that adds a whole nother layer to everything. And then now you're kind of trying to produce it and mix it and everything else too. This must be a labor of love for you.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to create something like this since I was little and I was watching all the creators that I loved when I was a child. And
Mm,
now being able to slowly begin to step into those shoes and be able to actually make something that I could see myself a couple years ago watching
mhm.
is it's such a wonderful experience, especially when I am like, oh gosh, it's not going well, but then I take a breath and I look at the fact that we have an entire animated video out, we have an entire movie produced that is out and available, and now we have the first episode of the main series out and available with our second episode right around the corner. It
Mm.
really puts in perspective how much progress I've made, and that is just something that really keeps me going with all of it.
So where can folks get to this movie?
Um, the actual show itself is just called Asphodel SMP, as we use Minecraft as our medium to
Hmm.
portray the story.
Yeah.
People can usually find the links on my YouTube channel. I have the animated video,
Okay.
and on the actual the YouTube channel Asphodel SMP official, we have the movie, and then we also have our first episode. And
Excellent.
then other social medias, usually just under Asphodel SMP, have behind the scene with cast, just a bunch of really stupid stuff. It's usually me just crashing out while people run around. But hey,
Hey, that's what's called behind the scenes. That's the extra stuff you
exactly.
get on the DVDs. That's what you used to get on the DVDs anyway, before you just downloaded it to your phone. Um, Not that I'm bitter of all the DVDs and stuff I own that don't have anything to play it on. Um, the the act of seeing something that you've created come to life in this way, and when you saw that the movie and the first episode done, um, relief, pride, what hit you?
Oh, a little bit of everything. As it's such a relief to get it done. And then the other part of me is like, great, you've got that done. Now here's the list of what you need to do next, which is a lot more than what has ever been done. There's always more to do than what you've done before. Once I get to the point where I've done more than what needs to be done, it's going to be kind of a weird feeling knowing that I'm now on the downward slope of it all. It was also a lot of pride for my cast, as this is for all of them. It's basically their first time doing something with this level of like professionalism,
Yeah.
as a lot of them, they may have been in like scripted things before, but it was very nonchalant. It was on Twitch streams. It was just for fun usually.
Right.
This we have the intention to go like a lot of places with. So even though it's only truly at the beginning, it's very, I feel very lucky about how everything has gone. I'd say that's the main feeling I felt, is lucky.
I would, just from talking to you these last few minutes, say it was more hard work, talent, and dedication to do this sort of thing. I mean, there's obviously a little bit of luck involved, but holy cats, I can't think of anybody else more qualified to do this sort of thing.
I'm sure there's tons of people who in the end could end up being qualified. I mean, the whole point of having special skills is just knowing how to apply them. You could be really good at doing roofing, for example, but that's not going to help you if you want to edit a YouTube video. But you got to find where you're good at doing things and just know how to apply yourself. Everyone can do great things if they put their mind to it. At least that's my belief.
Everybody, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. People aren't the product of their surroundings, or the triumph that emerges from the surroundings. And you seem to have done that as well. I mean, having, the disabilities and still coming through and wanting to perform and get that talent out there and help other people do the same thing while still maintaining your vision, and being happy with it and wanting to keep going. That's a triumph. That's a big triumph.
Oh, if only it was as easy as you make it sound.
Oh no, I'm not. I don't mean to make it sound easy, because it's not. But the fact that you're here when a lot of people would have just said, "Okay, I'm not even going to try," is pretty amazing in itself.
Yeah, my partner tells me that a lot. He is also a big inspiration for me to keep going, and just the people I have in my life. I mean, one of my roommates is working on becoming a VTuber right now, so it's nice to walk into her room and see her messing around with a model.
Open the door, you fool!
Something here seems a little bit familiar.
You're doing it wrong, you fool! And then just close the door.
Oh, yesterday she was in a meeting with our teacher, and she just yelled for me to come into her room, and I just walked into her room wearing this like horrendous bathrobe, and I was just like, "What do you want?" It was like this bright, like electric blue. It was horrible. I love it so much.
It's one of those outfits that if you had a blue screen or green screen behind you, you just end up looking like a map or something from.
Oh, I would just disappear. Like all that would be there was my head.
I used to love that, watching some local person do a weather forecast for the first time on television and wear the wrong outfit, and they go to the green screen and all you'd see was their head.
Well, I love when the floating heads tell me what the weather's going to be like outside.
That's right. I would figure the fact that they are floating heads makes them probably a little more wise into
Exactly
weather forecasts. I can't do that. Heck, I couldn't even stand in front of an audience. I never could really do that very well. Although in radio, I would have a decent audience at times, especially around the football games and such. But getting in front of people and doing things was a bugaboo for a long time. Was that ever a problem for you?
Definitely when I first was starting, when I was younger, it was very, I actually had a lot of stage fright, believe it or not now. But I really just kind of did the mentality of rip it off like a Band-Aid. Like, once you just start singing or start talking, start saying your lines, it kind of just starts flowing. And I kind of eventually started to learn that would always happen as long as I was confident about what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I just put more time into applying myself and practicing, and I knew that I knew that I was capable of doing it, so all I just had to do was take that first little step, and my autopilot would basically kick on. So once I learned how to do that, it was definitely helpful.
How
Still
do you
haven't mastered that with singing performances though, so still
well
waiting on that one to kick in.
that's still that's again, it's one thing to have the talent and one thing to sing at home and hit all the notes correctly and sound pretty good on a tape, but then doing it for other people is a whole nother kettle of fish. Um, for me anyway, I think that having that courage or confidence, either whichever way you want to call it, to do that sort of thing is pretty incredible. I don't know if I could get up in front of. And I used to be able to used to do that when I was 6 years old. Get up and sing in front of people. 7, 8, 9. But after the voice changed, I haven't hit a note since. That's like 1982. So it's been a while. Um, so acting was okay for you, but singing not so much.
Yeah, it was always there's so much extra room to make mistakes with singing.
Uh-huh.
And as much as when I first like started discovering VTuber, I really wanted to be an idol VTuber actually.
Yeah.
But especially with my disabilities, I can't exactly get up and dance, at least not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, well, the easiest route to doing that sort of thing is kind of like recording dancing streams and doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I decided to kind of hopefully take the route of just becoming a VTuber first.
Yeah.
And if I ever am able to be able to sing and dance again, I would love to start doing that stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, with singing, there's just so much extra room for mistakes. If you forget the words, you can't exactly cover it up easily. And you have to make sure you're hitting the right note. You have to make sure you're holding for the right amount of time. You have to know how to count music. You often have to know how to read and play a little bit of music to understand singing.
Yeah.
So, a lot more moving components to that one.
Yeah, and standing in front of people.
That as well.
Like, oh, I can see these people. I don't want that would want anything to do with that. But with the having the avatar, which being an accidental VTuber and having the avatar, does that allow you to rely a bit on your acting skills and acting experience, and allow you to be more yourself than you would normally be?
I would definitely say so, especially because it's nice to be able to just change things on a whim. I mean, I myself personally dye my hair constantly,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to change it like every day. But nice thing about having a VTuber model is I can just go into the layers and edit the color real fast just for the fun of it. And being able to just have such freedom and then also enjoying how my VTuber looks, as it was a long process to eventually come to this design.
Yeah.
It is just very nice to me to be able to have such an outlet that I feel so good about, and that helps me really become myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it a representation of you, or is it you, or is it a character?
All the above.
Uh-huh.
It started as a character, and then I made design choices and different things like starting to like be accentuated in the design through different experiences that actually happened to me. I'd like to be able to look back at my model, at the art of my character, and see how it has evolved and changed over time as I have evolved and changed as a person.
Cool. That's great to see you fully embrace this as it embraces you at the same time. It seems like it's very synergetic there, where you have the absolute right skills, mindset, talent, want to do this sort of thing, and it's right in your wheelhouse right now. And in fact, you're overqualified. Do you feel that comfortable with it?
I I definitely don't. Especially with my personal medical issues, they get in the way of a lot of the things I want to do. I'm not as fast or as productive as I really feel like I should be with all of the things that I do and all of the
Right.
qualifications I do end up having.
Right.
It definitely feels a lot more like climbing up a steeper hill than I think it would for most people in my position,
Mm-hmm.
as I just have so many unique circumstances that make things, well, unique.
Yeah. Right. Like a unique circumstances that make it unique, said through gritted teeth. Unique circumstances. That that that's pretty amazing all the way around. I'm sure people tell you that a lot, but it is absolutely true. Have you found that given this and given the people that you work with in your project, that some of them are kind of looking up to you as you do this?
Definitely the people I especially work closely with, like my cast,
Hmm.
and specifically in the cast, my staff team,
Hmm.
as those people have again been here since pretty much day one. So they know a lot about me, about the project, about what it means to me. And I definitely can see like how they take what I do and like almost apply it in their own way. As the person who mostly helps me with this project, I've noticed one thing I mentioned earlier was how I correct people with lines. I've noticed that he has started to take those exact same methods when he correct people with lines whenever I can't be right next to that person to help them.
Yeah. Well, if it works, it works.
Through
Um,
that,
yeah. Put your own spin on it, maybe. But if somebody teaches you how to drive a car, that's probably how you drive a car.
I
And
mean, I
don't.
would assume so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way that it probably should be. Given your experience, um, do you consider yourself, or do you think they consider you a mentor?
Maybe not yet, but hopefully in the future, as I definitely do not act mentorly very often, as like I don't like being a mean figure of authority to them,
Right.
but oftentimes when you run things, you kind of do have to play a little bit of good cop, bad cop, especially when people won't listen.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like if I was a little bit more firm and a little bit more probably how I should be, they might think of me like that. But I much rather them thinking of me as a friend and as someone who just is like helping them achieve this, like working alongside them.
Hmm. In the meantime, they're helping you too.
They are, yes.
Yeah. And do they realize that they're helping you with this?
Yeah, of course they do. They are my medium for portraying this story. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it without I can't make a story without actors unless I was planning on voice acting the whole thing myself and using some other medium where I didn't need people to be physically there.
Yeah. It's it's I meant said synergetic before, which isn't really a word, but the there is synergy here. They're helping you as you're helping them in a project that you couldn't have gotten done without each other.
That is very true.
And at the same time, you're getting I don't have a better term for this, but passion project going, and they get to fulfill some of the dreams they have as well.
Yeah, definitely. I do hear a lot of them saying when they first joined that they always wanted to be voice actors or creators, and it is really nice to be able to give someone like the first thing in their portfolio, as actually a lot of my cast members have used different things they've done for the whole project in different kinds of portfolios. I've had someone use drawings they made for it in an art portfolio. someone who submitted some of the writing they did to like a writing professor at their school. Different people have used it for voice acting stuff, and it's really nice to see someone say, hey, I used this thing from the project and it let me get into this thing.
What is it? How does it feel being the inspiration for these people?
A little unreal, because I always as a kid, I always wanted to be the inspiration that I got from like the creators I loved. And starting to be in that position now feels a little surreal, as this is what I dreamed of doing since I was little. So it's starting to get there. It's a surreal feeling to me.
Yeah. Do you ever get the what they call that imposter syndrome a little bit?
Oh yes, definitely. Ugh. I really sometimes I feel like I'm also just watching like, oh, the ideal best scenario. Like, I'm not actually doing this. This is someone else who's doing all these great things. And then I'm like, oh wait, reality check, that's me.
You look down in the director's chair, and by golly, I recognize that person.
I'm just like, something seems a bit familiar here.
Well, it's that is just a I don't have the words to describe how wonderful that is. To see that for everybody involved, and everybody's getting positivity out of it. And I would love to see more of that in a lot of things around the world in 2026 so far. I said through gritted teeth. But the fact that you've been able to get this through a internet now that has shrunk the world and expanded it at the same time. And this is definitely something that 20 years ago you probably wouldn't have been able to pull off.
Oh yes.
You were born at the right time, evidently.
Yeah. I do find it very lucky as I look at some people around me that are older than me, and I think, oh wow, it's kind of crazy how like vast the learning difference is. And it really shows how much if you just grow up with something, you very much are able to apply yourself to it more.
Yeah. And I can tell you from direct experience that what you're doing would be impossible in 1984 when I started radio. You couldn't.
Oh yes, I can imagine.
Could not have done
my father worked at Microsoft and a bunch of big tech companies for a while. And now he just builds PCs for fun. And he told me about how when the new age internet started, he really had to apply himself to learn how to use it.
Oh,
and absolutely. Even I can still do things that he can't.
Yeah. And it's there were people who we used audio tape for everything. Which even people don't even know what that means. But it was great technology. The sound, if you did it right, was good. The sound, if you did it wrong, was terrible, and you couldn't fix it. And in order to get people who were in their homes to record something, you had to wait on the mail to get it. You had to hope that the mail didn't run it through a magnet in the process, which they did on occasion. And then you had to mix it all together with reel tapes and real actual sticky tape and razor blades to edit this stuff together. I think that you would have done it anyway. I get this idea that little things like that wouldn't have stopped you, because you seem to be somebody who continues going and does not let everything stop you. Am I reading that right?
When I started content creation, I really just said, and I'm sure so many people say, oh, well, you don't actually mean that. You really are just in it for like the money and such. And it's like, no, I started content creation and doing what I do simply because I wanted to first firstly and foremost make content that I would enjoy watching,
Mm-hmm.
but also I just wanted to make other people happy. I wanted to give people the feeling that I got when I was sitting on my couch with like the flu or something, and all I had was my tablet and YouTube, and that was my only real thing I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about moments like that where I was really uplifted by creators, and well, I want to be doing that for other people now.
And you are. And in a way that helps them realize how individually talented they actually are, and contributing to a team effort. Uh, there are a lot of people that, given your circumstances and what you're dealing with right now, would not do what you're doing, or put out the effort. What would you say to them if you had them in a room, and they told you, they started naysaying about what they could do?
And tell them what I tell myself every day in the mirror. You don't know unless you try. You don't know if you're going to fail, or if you're going to crash and burn, or if you're going to be the next shining star unless you try. Who knows? Maybe one of these days I will be one of the next big names, but also maybe after my show's done, I'll fade right back into obscurity. I never know, but I still keep going because the mark is still there, even if you don't always see it. And that's also what I tell my cast a lot, is sometimes I have people approach me and say, well, Powder, we aren't getting the numbers we want, and we're not getting all the applications we used to. For context, this project used to receive upwards of 300 applicants a day.
Woo-hoo.
And we have a cast of about 25 people. So it's kind of, we've had a lot of people join and a lot of people leave, and these 25 are kind of just what's left after everything.
Yeah.
And these are also the people who don't care about those numbers. And so I tell them, myself and the people who think they couldn't do it, that you do not know unless you try. And that's also, I think, a pretty good life lesson for a lot of things.
I think so. In the the last radio station I worked for here in Danville, Illinois, WDAN, there is a disc, a 78 RPM disc. And I don't know whether it's there now or not, but it was on the wall. That is a locally produced radio show they did in the 40s. They would transcribe them onto a disc. Now, you can imagine that the audience for that wasn't exactly huge. It was a locally produced show on a station that got around the county, and I can't imagine. I haven't seen the script. I haven't been able to hear the show. But one of the people on that album was a guy named Dick Van Dyke, who probably tore into that as he does everything full speed. Even now, he'll throw into something. Just because the audience wasn't big doesn't mean that you can't be big in doing this. You put your best effort into it, and then later on, when you do have that chance, putting your best effort into it is second nature. And I don't think there's any time when he doesn't put even just getting around at 100. I don't think there's anything he doesn't do that isn't if I had that much energy at my age now, I would be much better off. Do the same thing in front of two people that you would in front of 2,000, and you'll see the benefits in the end. And,
Very good way to put it.
Yeah, it really does. It really does make a difference for you, and you enjoy it so much more. Just hearing you talk about this project, I can hear it, and someone say, "Well, they're just acting." No, I can hear it. How much this means to you, and it must be awfully fulfilling to know that there are other people that it means a lot to as well.
Yes, it very is. It's so nice to see, like, once we had finished filming our first episode, I got like at least 5 or 6 messages like an hour from the cast being like, so when are we filming next? And I was like, you guys, I have to edit this. We have to polish up the script for the second episode. We do not have time to start filming right now. And they're like, but please. So it is definitely really nice to see how excited and motivated they are for all of this.
Was there ever a point where you didn't believe in yourself?
Oh, honey, I could fill an entire book. Yes. It's hard, especially when like I oftentimes have to cancel my streams because I'm in the hospital. In fact, I'm currently not streaming right now, as on Sunday I have to go back into the hospital for a procedure. So it's hard to believe in myself when sometimes my doctors are like, I don't even believe you're going to be able to walk again.
Yeah.
So it's uphill struggle of that. And then especially when it comes to my show and this passion project of mine, I mean, it's so rewarding to hit numbers and see that people are enjoying it, but you don't always hit those right away. So especially when we had first released our movie, it didn't really do the numbers that we wanted it to, but now it has. And also, this project is such like a living entity. It has connections to a bunch of people who aren't even part of it anymore.
Right.
But I see a lot of those previous cast members who helped the very beginning stages look back on it and tell me that they're happy with how it's going. And I'm not just doing this for myself, for my love of storytelling, for the current cast, but it's for everyone who put even just a drop of sweat into this project. This is probably something that is important to a couple hundred people now who've all put in a little bit of effort here and there. And they may not be there with it when it finishes, but they were there with it, and that's important to me.
Isn't that something that you that seed you planted has grown to this? And people, other people are tending to the garden as well. I don't even know how would you describe that feeling?
Fulfilling. I'm excited to be able to one day look back on this finished project and see how much it's grown from just 3 people with an idea to make a Minecraft server to several years from then when there's a full series out there just because of one little stupid conversation. It's going to be really nice to see how it turned from, well, that little seed into the full-fledged tree I know it'll be one day.
Just amazing. You know, I've gone off the conversation. I haven't even really talked about streaming. But
yeah, that's right. We haven't.
That's the way it works, because I just enjoy talking with people, and especially when they've got such amazing stories to tell. That's the biggest part of what I'm trying to do. With your streaming, what are we usually seeing when we see you stream?
Me screaming most oftentimes is that what you'll get. I have this whole online persona of this like sexy, like seductive mommy like attitude. Then you go to my stream and you expect something a little bit more like that, and it's usually just me screaming. My favorite things to stream, I love group games. I love talking to people and being around people.
Yeah.
Especially my partner is also a streamer, and actually he's been on an interview with you already.
Oh yeah?
And
which one?
So,
which one?
Armis.
Oh, hi. Say hi for me.
I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's usually with him and with some of my other streamer friends, and it's usually group games and streams I do by myself. I usually am not talking about what I'm streaming. I am talking about something completely random. One day I would love to be able to be a just chatting streamer once I have the audience for it.
Yeah.
As I just love yapping.
Yeah. Well, you're good at it.
Thank you.
And I'm absolutely floored by what you've been able to do here. I have run out of words. I consider myself a person of words, and I don't have any to describe. Um, what with what you're doing now and how this is rolling, do you have any other goals for yourself as far as content creating goes? Do you even have time to work on other projects?
I do have two primary goals. Besides just becoming a successful content creator eventually.
Uh-huh.
I used to, before I really honed in on this project, when it was just kind of more of a side thing, I did run other projects where I was trying to give more people the opportunity to participate in things.
Mhm.
And so I owned this server of a couple thousand people, and I would create projects and different things for them to participate in. These people who would never really get that opportunity because most opportunities require experience. So I was inviting the unexperienced to get that experience. So one
Excellent.
day I would like to start that back up again and be able to just bring so much extra joy to those people.
Hmm.
And then for a more content creation and streaming oriented goal, I would really love to eventually one day be able to do some kind of like live concert. Eventually be able to like get a little 3D model and dance around the stage and sing my heart out would be honestly like the like an end game dream for me one day.
I'm not putting anything past you. I think it's if right now I think that if you speak it, you could do it. It's a question of the opportunity, and if it gets there, you're going to grab it. Um, no doubts in my mind. If the possibility is there, you're going to make it happen. Um, Gosh, I had another question for you, and I completely lost my train of thought. If you find my train, please point it in my direction,
I will.
and I'll stay
As
off.
my psychology professor says, always write down your questions. There's been too many instances of people having great questions and then just flying off into the void.
Well, the next question I write down will be the first. Um, I'd rather just work off what other people are doing because that's a conversation rather than an interview, and you get more. You, the walls come down quicker, and you get more into the person and what they're like, and
Very true.
and when when we look at what VTubing and the internet has become, we have now gotten a chance as not just content creators but consumers to hear these talents, singing talents, voice talents, cooking talents, gaming talent, whatever they decide to do, that we would never have seen before. Now have more entertainment possibilities than we've ever had, um, because of what the internet is, which is good and bad. Put that in there, but we would not know that streamer X from Walla Walla, Washington, had a tremendous voice, and then suddenly they put their voice on a cover, and by golly, that's a good voice. um, and not only have they done that, but they've overcome their own personal fear of getting in front and showing other people what they've done. Uh, I hope to hear more triumphs like this, um, more victories, and it sounds like that not only are you uh, in the middle of your own victory, but you're providing victories for other people as well.
I mean, that is definitely the goal.
Well, you are that goal, and you're hitting it. Um, Absolutely a pleasure talking with you. I could keep going and waste all of your time just asking you about this stuff. But what we will do is we'll have all of the links we can get in the description for the video. And if you please send me the straight up links to your movie and the first thing, we'll put that up in the description too. Since we are on YouTube, we can do that probably. They won't get too mad, and we'll get more people out there because what you're doing is amazing. What you are is amazing. Um,
Thank you.
and I don't know what I could do for you, but if I could do anything for you, let me know.
I will. It's honestly, it's just a pleasure having. Sometimes it's really nice to just have that confirmation of I am doing well. So that is definitely like, honestly, this has just been such a morale boost that I'm gonna make sure to send this video once it's out to my cast members and be like, hey guys, I talked about you.
and not entirely negatively, Steve.
Well, I could do that if that's what we're going to do.
We'll wait till I hit wait till I hit the stop button.
Oh yes, of course.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure, and I hope we do it again very soon.
Yes, I look forward to many a good conversation.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.